Hi everyone, Mariana here from Change Naturopathy. Today we will keep going and talking about gut health. Last time, hope you remember and you learned something about mindful eating and importance of mindful eating if we want to get any benefits from the food what we're eating and nutrients absorbed by our gut into our cells from the food we're eating. Today, I'd like to talk and clear up a little bit about very important part of our gut, what is our gut lining, and explain term what you probably heard, what is called intestinal permeability or leaky gut. So we mentioned also about gut microbiome and importance of the our gut microbiome to be balanced in our gut. And gut microbiome, we know, is consists of thousands of species of bacteria, viruses, yeast, and any other pathogens that consist and make that family and that gut microbiome in our gut. And what is very important for that gut microbiome is to be balanced. What means balanced gut microbiome? That means higher amount of beneficial species of bacteria, we call them good bacteria, and a lower amount of really opportunistic species of what we call those bad bacteria. So when we have imbalance what is of this gut microbiome, we call that dysbiosis. What's happening, we having that beneficial species lowering, that amount of beneficial species is lowering down, or we have a total absence of some beneficial species that needs to be present in our gut, and increased amount of those pathogenic species in our gut, which still has to have their own presence, but not in that higher amount. So when that is happen, we triggering our immune system, then we have increased production of increased inflammation in the gut. So that's the very important part of to be balanced of our gut health. So gut microbiome. Another very important part for our gut health is intestinal lining or gut protection, gut mucosal protection of our gut, of our intestines, that actually making barrier between our gut and our bloodstream and other parts of our body. That intestinal lining is only one cell thick, and it is also semi-permeable, which means that have little openings, or what is called tight junctions. And those little openings are open just a little bit, just enough for the food particles that are digested to go into our bloodstream. The pathogens, bacteria, the microbiomes and toxins can't really go through those semi-permeable intestinal linings and those openings into bloodstream because those that waste, that pathogens and toxins are discharged from our body through urine or through the waste through the bowel motion. So, however, if something happening, some kind of imbalance happening, like if we have an imbalance in our microbiome that causing the production of inflammation, or we have some other outside factors like chronic stress, influence of environmental toxins, influence of eating the really inflammatory foods, so that's triggering the food sensitivities. Any kind of that influence will cause will trigger increased inflammation, because our immune system immune system will be triggered and will start producing more inflammation in the gut. That will cause, that increased inflammation production will cause those tight junctions to actually become permeable. So they are not only semi-permeable, they're not opening just for the food particles and nutrients to go into our bloodstream. Now they are stretched, they are more open, and they are allowing actually some of the toxins and some of the undigested food particles or some recycled hormones from our body to go into the bloodstream. The ones that could be maybe diluted in the water will go in and reach bloodstream. When that happens, our immune system is again triggered, and again we have a increased production of the inflammation. So we keep, if that keeps happening, so we have pathogens passing into our bloodstream because of those gut lining is really become permeable, and those tight junctions is opening. Then we will have that triggers non-stop, and we will have a triggering of the chronic mucosal production or production of inflammation in the gut non-stop. We know also that in that case, and that is really supported today with many research, and it's been proven with many research, that inflammation, chronic inflammation in the gut will cause secondary production inflammation in other parts of the body. And that's because we already mentioned that there is a connection between our gut and our brain, connection with our gut and our skin and our endocrine systems. So gut is connected to all the systems in our body. So in that case, secondary inflammation will influence development of chronic diseases in the brain. We have for some people that will be anxiety, for some people depression, for some people will be ADHD, autism, etc. In case of the skin, we will have skin issues starting to develop, and we have eczema, we have psoriasis, etc., etc. So that's research has shown that, and that's what is actually happening when we have increased inflammation and other issues, imbalance microbiome in the gut. That will demonstrate for different people and different parts of our body with development of some other chronic diseases, unfortunately, including many autoimmune diseases, because our body, our immune system, starting to not really recognize that our own cells, and they're starting attacking our own cells, which are getting into bloodstream, so recycled waste or hormones, etc. So that's how we can see importance of that gut lining to be kept really healthy, and importance of our microbiome to be balanced. I hope you understand now much better the meaning of the intestinal permeability or leaky gut, and why it's really important to keep intact that mucosal gut lining that protects our intestines, that protects our gut, and why it's important to keep our microbiome balanced. So avoiding those outside sources like a chronic stress, avoiding environmental or reducing environmental toxins, really mindfully eating and the non-inflammatory foods, avoiding those food sensitivity and reaction will really help to keep our gut health and keep our intestinal lining healthy and microbiome balanced. If there is anything else that you would like to know more about gut health and about leaky gut or anything what we mentioned here, please send me a message or comment down below this video, and I will come back to you. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.